Hello everyone, I am someone, apparently. What's my name again? Tessellating Hexagons, that's the one. And we're back with some more by the way, I did actually do a little bit of messing around in the original PlayStation 1 version just to compare the two. So I actually did practice this level ahead of time, but in the PlayStation 1 version. And this whole musical sequence with the people that have collected, that was in the original as well. I don't know if I said it wasn't, but it is. Anyway, we're about to move on to 6-1, the Moon Kingdom, and we've had my favourite level aesthetically and musically and everything. And, well, now it's time to move on to the one that's just objectively the most beautiful, the best the best music stylistically. Not my favourite, but it's up there on my favourites. It's not my overall favourite because, I mean, Klonoa is the fucking boss, but 6-1. Beautiful thematically, aesthetically, and musically, and so I'm gonna shut up and let you hear the intro music, so whenever you're ready, game. So yeah, I'm hoping it was playing the music during that cutscene because it did in the PlayStation version, so I'm guessing it should here. And first of all, another arbitrary name change. It was the Legendary Kingdom in the original. Now it's the Kingdom of Legend. And look at this interior, like. First of all, I'm just going to give you the grand tour. This is another dungeony level because you can see this level loves to give you previews of what's to come, because there are these statues everywhere blocking the doorways. There's this outside segment that we're going to be going to quite a bit. We can do nothing out here at the moment. Now, when playing through the original, I realised a lot of things that, Austin's not going to like me saying this, but I actually do think this version of the game is vastly superior to the original, having compared the two side by side. But I will say, in the PlayStation 1 version, this outside bit is prettier, because instead of all this, it's sort of a simple night sky. You got this platform around the outside that fucking drops sparkly glitter particles as you run along it, and it's fucking gorgeous. The only downer is this background music has an absolutely gorgeous piano solo in it, and you can't hear it when you're on the outside bit, because this game has that thing with dynamic music, so you can only hear, the music changes depending on where you are. Anyway, yeah, this is a sort of a dungeon level. It likes showing places that you're about to go or that you've already been. Everything connects nicely, and that was accidentally MLG. Yeah, there are a lot of tricky platforming, or at least tricky for this point in the game, because this game knows how to be difficult. But that's something that we're going to get to in due course. I said it differently for a change. Anyway, the main gimmick here is these those crystal shards up there, not to be confused with the thematically important ones from Steven Universe. But yes, these statues are linked to the crystals of the same colour, and so you boop them, and all crystals of the corresponding colour just shatter like that. And one thing I could really praise this game for, and the original as well, you can see little piles of dust, where they were, so you can tell which doors you've not been in yet, because, you can see the ones that were formerly blocked off by the crystal that you've most recently hit. And so, as a child, I saw this level as kind of the Moon Kingdom's version of the 4 orbs, or essentially 6-1's answer to 5-1. By being a dungeon level, you're getting 4 things of, those 4 colours through a dungeony level where you're going to go through the same bit multiple times. I could have sworn I killed you, but apparently not. Although, this is where the difficulty does ramp up significantly compared to... Then again, I don't know, maybe that's just me. You see, we're going to be coming back through here later when we get the green shard, but for the moment, I believe we're on the path for the blue one, I want to say, because, yeah, yellow's definitely the last one. Green, you do come through this bit, but you don't get the green one on your first pass. So we're heading for the blue one next, and red's the first one, so maybe that's the canonical order you're supposed to do Klonoa in as well, and I meant to hold on to that move, but you spiky assholes fucked it so that I couldn't. I was gonna throw the moo at this and be all clever and elite and shit. But yeah, having played through the original, like, in close proximity to playing this, like, the original had better script and better voice acting, and obviously the same music, but this, I think, has better controls, obviously better graphics. I was talking to Austin before I started LPing this, and he said that, like, he preferred the lower polygon count of the original because it added to its charm or something, whereas now it looks too cartoony, kid-friendly. Like, I kind of see where he's coming from with that. Fuck. That's what I get for going after all Dream Crystals on a single run. What? Has it really been that long since we got a checkpoint? Whatever, no big deal. But, yeah, that's completely thrown me off my game. He was saying that the lower polygon count added to the game's charm and made it sort of slightly, a little bit, not dark beyond its years, but like a sort of a implication of the game's darker tones, because it does take a turn for the dark towards the end. I disagree. I'm just it's pretty like this, and that's, you know, like in the original, a lot of things, and I mean a lot of things, were sprites rather than models, and so you could really tell. Like, for instance, the springy platforms from 3.1 onwards, rather, they were so obviously 2D. And I'm not saying that graphics make or break a game, but I just think this version's prettier. I mean, technically, it is prettier. It's just different stylistics or whatever. Another thing, like, comparing this to the original, the controls are a lot tighter in this. Like, they're a lot slipperier than I remember in the original. Teehee. Also, I feel like Klonoa's Wind Bullet is like, it has half the range in the original. I don't remember it being that way, but that's how it felt. Also, again, I'm not sure how true this is, but it certainly feels true. In the original, some of the Dream Crystals are placed so much more dickishly. Some enemies do not respawn, whereas they do in this version, so you could completely screw yourself out of 100%ing a level just because you accidentally, you know, used an enemy and missed. I mean, this game does retain the bullshit with the double fairies, because there are some serious... Like, there's one in this level, especially, that's really rather tricky. And luckily, I was playing with save states when I was doing the PlayStation 1 version. I do own it legally, so don't worry. I'm perfectly legal to emulate it. And there's puzzles with boomies. This is a thing now. Tactical explosions. Fuck. See, I'm lumping all this praise on top of this version of the game, and the original version is harder because of the controls and whatnot, and yet I got through this level without dying at all when playing through the original, and yet here I am, just dying every which way but loose, if that's even an expression. Is that an expression? Someone in the audience, please send help. I don't know how to feel. And oh, for some reason I thought I wasn't at full health, but I am. I mean, obviously, one difference that I've pointed out before is... Okay. I think those spikers are faster in the original as well, so there's that. What was I saying? Like, obviously between this version and the original, you have more health in this one, and the hearts restore different amounts to compensate for that, but... No. Anyway, we're in this area. You can sort of see where this is leading up to, because we've got the things, the fucking green statues. We just broke the green thing, so we're probably going to be heading back to where we just were. And this, I like this puzzle, because there's a whole flock of moves. You can't, well, I suppose you can if you really tried, to pull them all out the way one by one. Really? Bugger. I could have sworn that has a much shorter fuse in the original. I know I said I was going to stop talking about the original, but... Fuck you, I played the original recently. But yeah, what you have to do is grab this boomy and explode all the fuckers, or as many of the fuckers as you can, and apparently get an enemy out of it anyway. But yeah, I like that puzzle, and really? Really. Whatever, totally worth it. Exchanging one half fuck of health for a life. That's actually a decent exchange rate, and luckily on this run I didn't need the heart here the first time, so it's still here when I come through on the second time. Little moo umbrella that I didn't need. But yes, did I mention this level is fucking beautiful, both musically and, everything elsely? And I could have I thought you were going to hurt me, good sir, and you did not. But yes, the music for 5.1, one of my favourites in the game, called Red Heat Coronia. This track is called Untamed Heart, and I urge you to look it up and just listen to it without my incessant commentary overlaid on top of it, because it's fucking gorgeous! Like, you can sort of tell the tone that this game is starting to take around this point, because we've had the fun, we've had the silliness, we've had the craziness and the wahoo and all that, and now, things are simultaneously winding down and up. You could tell, the story's getting serious, the level design is getting serious. Like 6.2, I stopped playing the original, in my most recent run through. I stopped playing the original when I got to the end of 6.1, just because I don't want to practice. This is the double fairy section I was talking about. Like, this is a bitch to do. Because the double fairies give you, no time. You see? You're supposed to be able to get all of those in one double fairy thing. And what you have to do is jump onto this, jump and fly like that, and then jump and then get those. And that is really difficult to do. I wouldn't mind dying, but I'm not going to die on purpose, just to get a chance to redo that. Anyway, this is that section I was talking about before, in 5.2, where I said that there's a return of the disappearing platforms. And that room just then was like an introduction to those. An introduction, yes, Tess. What was I saying? But, this is going to be yet another instance of Tess has a thought and then abandons it partway through because something distracted him. Anyway, where should I begin? The yellow platforms take a while to disappear, but they're gone for a while. The blue platforms disappear quickly, but they're back in the time it takes you to jump, fly, and then land again. So, yeah. And that thing there, as a child, it didn't cause me too much trouble, but, I worried about it as a child because it's a difficult thing. And here's another one of those bloody... And... Oh, okay. Can you not? Another one of the double fairy sections. This one's not as bad as the first one. Fuck. Oh, right. I thought maybe you couldn't keep going. Oh, bugger. If I'd realised that ledge on the far left was there, then I would have nailed that perfectly. But you can see partly why I said this is... that the Dream Crystal thing is such a streamable thing, because what I'd have to do is either start the entire level over, or die and go from the last checkpoint, and it would take ages, and need to have ground up a whole bunch of lives by then, and we're actually coming to the end of the level. This isn't as long as I thought it was. Hang on. Can I just... Oh, we really are coming up on the end here. By the way, these... checkpoints. They didn't look like that in the original, but I believe they borrowed that design from the second game on the PlayStation 2, which I will LP at some point, because that's like this, but better. Oh, I've alluded to it already, but here we are, at the end already. And there's the egg that Guardius was talking about before, and I'm sorely tempted to make this a short episode, because 6.2 is an absolute beast of a level. And in the original, this wasn't a spiral room. It was just, you go to the left, you go to the right, you go back to the left, and then you go. Now, there is an important cutscene here, but I don't remember if... I think it's at the start of 6.2, so we're good to go. And yeah, it's another one of these... Also, the way I'm facing now is a result of me holding down. The control stick orientation for that is not what you'd expect it to be. So yeah, there is an important cutscene coming up, but that's at the start of 6.2. And so I'm going to save that for the next episode. But, yeah, so just re-highlighting what I said before about streaming getting the Dream Crystals, and I feel like... Oh, holy shit. 132, that's the worst I've done so far. And I'm aware I'm talking all over the music, but that's okay, because it's nearly complete anyway, so... Frankly, letting you listen to the completed song so far would just be spoilers anyway. In the next episode, we'll go after 6.2, hopefully get that completely 100% perfect on the first run through as well, and then you'll be able to hear the entire Song of the World in its entirety. And if it's the song I think it is, then many, many feels shall be had. And I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to split the next episode. I think 6.2 is long enough to be an episode by itself, and then its boss and the boss after, maybe another episode thereafter, I don't know. But I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, shit gets unbelievably real. Like, real beyond words. Just prepare your butts, because things are going to happen. Until then, good boo.